Hi, I'm Eleanor, and welcome to this week's edition of the Intuition Lab. This week, I'm going to talk a little bit about spring cleaning. It's on many of our minds, but what's really important to clear away in this new season? Maybe it's warmer where you are, maybe not. Enjoy autumn, friends down under. But when spring arises, you may feel a deep need for change, to shake off those cobwebs of winter. Restock your reserves, be they physical, spiritual, emotional, wherever you feel like you've run low, and just invite in a cleaner, fresher energy. Before we get started, I'd like to invite you to, as always, please like, share, and subscribe if what I am saying is helpful, and also so you can stay in the loop and help this information get to other people who really need to hear it. So, where to start with your spring cleaning? First, I would invite you to lay the groundwork and ask yourself these questions. And as always, you'll want to breathe in and out, tune into your intuition, make sure you're in a space where you're in your energy, not really being bombarded by other people's, wherever you can find those pockets of contemplation. And lay the groundwork. Ask yourself these questions. First, what actually needs to change in your life? Quite often we change because we think we should do something or our neighbors are doing something, and therefore you should try it too. That's often not true. This is contrasted with intuition-led needs that feel like it's coming from deep inside of you, something that your soul needs to accomplish, not the people around you. And sometimes it may not make sense in the least, but it is what you are being called to do. So think about what actually needs to change. If you get the message that you are on the right track, then ask, is there anything else you could be doing? Is there some way to be more efficient in what you're doing? Or is the message truly just keep on keeping on? Because sometimes that is exactly what needs to happen. Second, where have you been holding on to crap in your life? Hmm. Not just physical crap, which I'm sure many of us listening still have to deal with, but emotional crap, crap that's other people's energy, the judgment of others, burdening yourself, taking away your energetic reserves, worrying about what people who really don't matter to your happiness think. Or if they are important in your life, they may actually have, they may be important to you, but they are not vitally important for you, if that makes sense. You may care about them, but their decisions, their actions, their opinions about what you do truly does not have that great of a bearing on your life and the way you lead it. So identify where you've been holding on to crap that you need to get rid of, that was never yours to begin with, just things that need to go. Also, where have you been deceiving yourself? I am definitely guilty of self-deception or telling myself I'll start again tomorrow and things not materializing the way I want to, and then I feel frustration. So, where have you been less than honest with yourself? Sometimes you know there are things you need to change, there are things you need to fix, there are people you maybe need to say goodbye to, situations you need to change, and you just think you don't have to. So, in this new season, root out the self deception. Another important thing to consider is what you want the next 6 months to look like. So, I am recording this in late March. 6 months from now will be late September, the beginning of fall here. When the seasons change and we're getting ready to hunker down for the colder months ahead, what place do you want to be in? What energy do you want to exist in? Think about that. 6 months from now, when you look around, for me, I'm looking around the room I have as an office. What do I want to see? I want to see clutter cleared. I want to see a couple pieces of furniture here sold. I want to see things organized. I want to optimize my belongings. I I want to have things within easy reach. I also want to reach certain business goals. I want to achieve certain personal goals or things I want to do. What do you want to have accomplished 6 months from now? And what do you want your next 6 months to look like? Who do you want to be? What patterns do you want to have in place? What things do you want to have done? What people do you want to meet? Who do you want to be? So once you have these sort of goals or ideas in place, these ideas that have to come deep from you. And so if you have a list of things and you have no idea how you're going to get to all of them, I invite you to watch one of my earlier podcast episodes about intuitive decision making and how to pick what to work on first. I think that can be really helpful. But if you have a good hand on what you think you need to change, then it's time to create your intuitive roadmap. And just think about the way you approach work, the way you approach change in your personal life. What is the most effective approach for you? Is it best for you to just think about your next best step? And that's how I encourage you to start if you truly don't have a clue. For some of us, you see the full path pretty quickly, and it's just a point of putting it all down. Sometimes drawing it out can help, typing out the steps. How do you work? Do you take small steps? Are you the person who really functions best with making sweeping changes all at once, or something in between? And your gut will tell you how to proceed. If you start to jump into something with both feet and it feels very uncomfortable, then that's a sign you need to back out. If doing one baby step just feels frustrating and feels like it's not enough, and that's something to counter, because there's the it's not enough that comes from our ego, and then there's the it's not enough that comes from your intuition or your soul, because you know that you are meant to do things differently. So I would say for some people, if you are at all familiar with tarot, in the Tower card energy, there's some people who do really well by burning it all down and starting over. I am not one of those people, except for occasional decluttering sessions where I'm just like, screw it, everything's going today. And you know what? I don't miss any of it. Um, or are you definitely more of a deliberate planner, I believe, like a Seven of Pentacles type of person? Or, as I said, are you somewhere in between? How deliberate do you need to be? So, once you know if you are a small step or a grand gesture person, the key is to start doing, and also to monitor your energy as you start doing. Just know that you can always back out if you feel you've taken on too much, or you can always add more in if you feel like, okay, I've done my small step for today and I need more. But the key is to start doing. And this is as much for all of you listening as it is for me. Visualizing, at which I am extremely adept, is helpful. But how many castles or kingdoms in the sky do we build in our heads? Never fully realize them, because we keep tweaking the details and saying, oh, well, I'm getting myself into alignment. And that is true up to a point. But eventually you have to start taking action. It's rare, and it does happen. It's rare that you so beautifully work things out in your head and your energy shifts that rapidly that the outcome you want comes to you like that. More often than not, we visualize, we take the steps, we see the results, we visualize some more, we stay in touch with our intuition so we feel the rightness or the alignedness, if you will, of what we're doing. And you just got to do. You just got to do. And finally, hold yourself to a review. I'm going to set a bit of a challenge for all of us. Let's give ourselves 30 days to make a start on the changes we intuitively know that we need to make. Let's give ourselves 30 days of intuition-led spring cleaning and start doing the things. Check in. If checking in daily with yourself is too much, take a quick glance at how you're doing each week so you don't get too far off course. And of course, if at any point, if your intuition tells you, hey, I need to change this, then immediately, ask your intuition, okay, well, what ought I do instead? And follow that guidance. But let's give ourselves 30 days to start making these changes, and then we'll circle back and see how it's going. So, where will you be starting afresh this season? I'm going to talk about this and more in my free community, Pathfinders, where you can build your intuitive muscle, get the tools you need to take aligned action. And I invite you to join. There will be a link in the show notes and through Pathfinders, though I'm probably going to do it in a couple of other places at the same time. I'm going to do a free event called Energetic Spring Cleaning or Rebirth in honor of the spring equinox that has passed and the upcoming Easter season. So details will follow shortly. Watch this space, check out my posts on YouTube, social media, and also you can join my mailing list. Link to that will also be in the show notes to receive weekly notifications of new podcast episodes, events I'll be hosting like this, and just other places I will be sharing information with you. So until next week, I'm wishing you so much love. Stay tuned into your intuition and get started on making those changes you know you need to make. Take care. Bye now.